Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. Allowance is made for fair use, for purposes such as criticism, comment.
Most definitely, I'm back with another exclusive video reaction. This particular video reaction, you know what I'm saying, another indictment. Damn near another RICO, you dig what I'm talking about? Strong one at that though, you feel me? Baby gorillas and Hoovers. You know what I'm saying? Basically got picked up by the people, man. You know what I'm saying? 4-year long-term investigation. Here's my video reaction. Make sure you like, subscribe, and don't forget to hit that notification bell. Meanwhile, me peoples, let's jump right off.
Gang members are in federal custody in what law enforcement is calling a major takedown of a vicious sex trafficking ring.
Investigators say the suspects used social media and music videos to recruit young women and children, targeting runaways and kids in foster care. KTLA's Lindsay Pena live in Westwood with more on the story. Lindsay.
Karen, Micah, 5 of those defendants were already in court this afternoon, pleading not guilty to the charges against them. Earlier, when we spoke to the U.S. attorney here at the federal building in Westwood, he said when they served the arrest warrants this morning, they discovered 4 sex trafficking victims, one of them. These are photos of some of the 11 alleged members or associates of the South Los Angeles-based Hoover Street gang who are now in federal custody on a long list of charges that include racketeering, sex trafficking, drug and firearms-related crimes, and money laundering. Sky 5 was overhead as arrests were being made at a motel.
11 charged in federal indictment of minors and young women along South LA's Figueroa corridor. It's the actual indictment that came out. All right, let's Google some public record, you know what I'm saying, and hit the news. Talking about what's online. Now, they got the whole in. Let me just read to y'all a little bit of it because I don't want to be wasting too much time. Federal and local law enforcement today arrested 6 members and associates of the South LA's criminal gang, charged in a 31-count indictment that charges them with racketeering conspiracy, including sex trafficking of children and adults through force, fraud, and coercion, right? Including runaways, children from foster care system on the Figueroa corridor, recruiting victims, though, social media, and branding them with tattoos. Like, it's really, really bad work, you know what I'm saying? So the following defendants are charged with 1 count of conspiracy to violate RICO, racketeer, influenced, and corrupt organizations. The first person is Amaya Armstead, 25 years old, aka Lady Duck. Defendant and the de facto leader of the 11 Deuce set of the Hoover criminal gang, who was accused of sex trafficking a 14-year-old girl. Now that's like bad work, you know what I mean? Like, you know, pimping is what it is, you know what I'm saying? People do their thing, but, you know, from my experiences and stuff like that, being around growing up, you know, it's a hands-off sport. You know, it's no minors and no hands, you know what I'm saying? So all that kidnapping and beating up and gorilla and all that stuff, like, that ain't really pimping. You ain't really got no real ism if you got to use more than your mouth. It's really about the mouth. If you got game, you ain't got to never use your hands or none of that. You know what I'm saying? Because it's by choice, not by force. This is why they're in trouble, you know what I'm saying? But this is Keandre Young, 22 years old, a.k.a. Young Poke.
See, this the sad thing about this situation. It's minors involved, you feel me? On top of that, you feel me? We already seen P4 get arrested, you know what I'm saying? And basically it was allegedly about minors, but nobody really knew. And at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to keep it real myself. I thought it was just a quick bait. Now that his name is back into the scene and whatnot, you feel me? Obviously, they've been knowing what was going on. They've been watching these fellas, and basically, you know what I mean? They didn't crack down on him. A 4-year investigation? Come on, man. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of this can stem from how they done it. You know what I'm saying? Hey, if you're going to choose that life, that's a hands-on, no-contact sport. You dig what I'm talking about? It's all about the mental. And the way that they was doing it, as far as we hear it, yeah, they some real baby gorillas, we hear them. You know what I'm saying? And the way that they was talking.
Naziz Harris, 19 years old, a.k.a. N4. Avery Amico, 27, a.k.a. Hands. Jared Evans, 29 years old, a.k.a. J Money. Matthew Brooks, 22 years old, a.k.a. Vermont Star. Darrell Robinson, 22 years old, a.k.a. Popcorn. We're going to get back to that in a second. Jelon Phillips, 22 years old, a.k.a. Chop 'em. Brian Israel, 31 years old, a.k.a. Foloke. Tajon Gray, 25 years old, a.k.a. Tiny 3. Tommy Crockman, 30 years old, a.k.a. Tommy Guns. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, this is the indictment, man. Like you know, when the feds come in and get you, they've been watching. Like, they don't really jump the gun on stuff because that's why they got a high percentage rate of convictions. You know what I'm saying? When they come, they come. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a long indictment, so I'm not going to really read the whole thing. But according to the indictment, February 2021 to August 2025, the Hoovers largely controlled sex trafficking and prostitution in the Figueroa corridor of South LA. Members and associates of the gang acted as pimps to promote and manage sex trafficking, facilitated each other's pimping and managing and monitoring their victims, pooling resources to rent several motel rooms for commercial sex dates, disciplining each other's victims, driving each other's victims to and from the street where victims solicited commercial sex work, sourcing third parties to create online profiles for sex advertisements, and sending each other money via Cash App and Apple Pay. Like, it's a lot in here. So we got a 4-year investigation, you know, and 11 people picked up. It's you know what I'm saying? Like, in 2024, April 2024, Armstead and Evans utilized rooms at the Stadium Inn in South LA motel to traffic their victims. One victim included a 14-year-old girl. They're not going to have no remorse for that. There's no remorse for a minor, period. You know, under 18, 17 going on 18.
Look, everybody want to choke, but ain't nobody doing it the correct way. And at the same time, people do take shortcuts and whatnot and end up in situations like this. Bro was just on No Jumper to poke, dude. You feel me? I'm saying? Then you got that boy, you know what I'm saying, OG Gumby talking about what's good with our community and all this. It's like the same old type of act, you feel me? You know what I'm saying? You see how they got Big U far as using that all, you know, support this and foundation this. You know what I'm saying? Look, I'm going to be real. In LA, they cracking down. And it's a lot of people telling, and it's a lot of these people getting on these platforms, popping it, doing so many interviews, giving them more leads to understanding what they're doing.
But when you think about 14 years old, you know, a lot of people have kids, and a lot of people were 14 at one point. You think how young their mind is, and to be forcing someone to do that is kind of crazy. So they expect, you know, harsh penalties on this type of stuff. I done seen people get over 100, 200 years for these type of crimes like that, you know what I'm saying? But the hands-on and force and kidnapping, and I read in here they was throwing them in the car and forcing people in the car. Like, it's all in indictment, bro. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, I don't know what they got going on, man, but I'm not going to make this video too long. Obviously, they're going to be innocent to proven guilty. You can't never really just go off of, you know, an indictment and say someone's guilty. You know what I'm saying? If they didn't do it, free them, man. You know what I'm saying? But let's get to this, though. Right here, right? Robinson. So his name has been in the news for minor stuff before. You know what I mean? Might have beat the case. Got picked up in this. It's like, I don't know, man. Like with Empire a few years ago, they was kind of getting it going. Nothing like that, you don't really be thinking about can happen, a possibility. You kind of just out doing what you do. Me personally, that's not me. When I got to a position where I was able to do things straight, you know what I'm saying? I was always trying to do the right thing. I was just forced by my situation to do the wrong thing, you know what I'm saying? But I was always smart with it, you know what I'm saying? I ain't never done no stuff like that. But hey, man, what y'all think about this? This is the second RICO this year of LA gangs. Is it more to come? Is it no more gonna come because people gonna see it's real? Like, I don't know. Is it bad? Are they cleaning streets up for real? Is the gang banging really over with? I think it's over with, you know what I'm saying? Based on what I'm seeing, how things used to be, I say it's over with.
All early Wednesday morning.
They were branding these young women. They were raping them. They were abusing them. They were drugging them. Just horrific acts.
U.S. Attorney Bill Asaley saying many times the gang recruited victims through social media.
This Hoover gang, they portray a lifestyle of wealth, of power, of violence, and they use that to actually lure women into that lifestyle. They think it's going to be glamorous.
A 31-count indictment details the years-long case against the defendants who allegedly operated in the Figueroa corridor, known as a human trafficking hotbed.
The lead defendant is a woman. She goes by Lady Duck, and she was out there recruiting these young women, children as young as 14 years old, into sex trafficking and really selling other humans. It's the worst kind of crime out there.
According to the indictment, at one point, a 14-year-old girl was trafficked for at least 3 days in a row at a South LA motel. The U.S. attorney says the case against the gang members is a strong one.
I guess we got to just watch how this play out and see what's really what. You know what I'm saying? It's public records. I know plenty of people going to cover it and they're going to speak on it. That's why I'm giving y'all the news. You feel me? You know what I'm saying? Let y'all know what's going on in these LA streets. You dig what I'm talking about? And these YouTube streets too, though. You feel me? It's a lot been going on. You know, this is a real definition of a lot of people be on these platforms popping in. And before you know, they getting picked up because they get on these platforms popping in, or they get big-headed, get to saying too much, and you know what I'm saying, and they be that. But you know what I'm saying? Don't deal with no minors, though, man. You know what I'm saying? It's a sad situation. And them dudes, if them dudes didn't do all that, free them dudes. You know what I'm saying? Well, we going to see how it unfold and how it wind down to being what it is.
With many criminal acts being documented on various social media accounts.
A lot of these girls came from the foster system. They're preying on people who are vulnerable, who don't have maybe families, who are runaways, and so we try to get them services and try to help them.
The U.S. Attorney's Office says trial is scheduled for October 7th for some of these defendants, and while most of them are in custody, one is still outstanding, a man named Brian Israel. If all of these defendants are convicted on the charges against them, they face 15 years in prison, and some of them could be facing life sentences.
I was rich then, but you ain't even know it like Rocco. We don't keep score, we just keep on scoring.